The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, depending on where you might be. It's good evening for me because I'm talking to you from the East Coast, even though Management Success is out on the West Coast. And here we're going to talk about how to use social media to drive traffic to your shop. So, welcome, everyone. Glad you're all here. And my name is Jim Saley. I'm a senior consultant and trainer over Management Success. I have over 30 years experience in the automotive industry myself, from working at a dealership when I was in my younger days to having my own shop and actually utilizing the principles that Management Success teaches to more than double the size of my business. And thanks to them, I was successful with the business and started working for them about 10 years ago. So I'm a consultant, trainer, speaker, do all kinds of things, travel all over the country. My whole purpose here is to help you improve things in your shop so it helps improve your life, because that's what we're all about. So I also have on the line here, I have Andre. So Andre, why don't you introduce yourself to the crowd?
Hello, everybody. I'm Andre. I am happy to be here to help you guys reach that next level, get some more traffic to your guys' shop. I've been doing this for quite a while. I specialize in social media marketing and digital marketing. I also specialize in websites and every single knowledge that just about has to do with the internet and marketing. Yeah, and so I'm pretty excited to get this going and teach you guys some new things. Hope you
Awesome.
guys got some pen and paper.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Andre. And it's always good to have somebody who really knows the field. And, me that I'm older, it's, teaching the old dogs new tricks takes a little while, but I do understand the importance of um, marketing for your shop. And the way the internet goes today, it's extremely important. So let's get into it, because the internet today, it is a part of our lives. We can't ignore it. It is there, whether you like it or not. The internet is here to stay. I know that's a silly thing to say, but heck, we use the internet to do almost anything. As a matter of fact, Andre and I were talking about motorcycles just before, and what did you do? You went on the internet to look up what the bike you were talking about, correct?
Exactly. The internet travels with us. They made it portable so that way we can never be on a not need no basis for anything. You can get information anywhere.
Exactly. All right. So we know we can't ignore it. It is part of our life. It's actually, when it's down, people get very upset now, don't they? But it is
Oh yeah.
it's how we do things. But you see, here the thing is with your business, it's what do you do, or how do you utilize the internet to draw people to your business? It's about maximizing your space, casting the widest net, being able to be seen. People can find you. I mean, that's the great thing about the internet now. I mean, I'm going to go back now from when I had my shop. The way that I attracted new people to my business was I had to use the old post office. I was
Oh yes.
very good at using the post office way back in the 90s, but that was the way you did it. But these
Oh
days,
yeah.
you have much more opportunity. So you maximize your space, casting that widest net to catch more people. All
I
right.
always tell people to think about as social media as a postcard that you can send to somebody's hand every single day, and you don't got to buy those little postage stamps that now people collect as collector items. That is your way to put a postcard in somebody's hand, a flyer into somebody's hand every single day.
Wow, that's such a good point, because yeah, that got very expensive. The post office knew me very well. So
Oh yeah.
here's the thing: social media and a strong online presence can help with a lot of different things. Card count is one. Definitely, it can help you attract new people to your shop. Customer retention, getting people to come back to you. PR tool as well, because people look at you from what they see. They take an impression of your business on what they see. For my collision,
Exactly.
yeah, for my collision shops, becoming a direct repair facility, because if that's something that you want to do, it makes you look professional. It's also finding employees, because I'll tell you, a good employee can go work anywhere, can't they?
Oh
And
yes.
yeah, and the thing of it is, it's very interesting how employees will look at you or interview you just as much as you interview them. But that's not what we're really going to get into today, but it's just another reason why social media is important, so having this online presence.
Yes.
Now, two biggest reasons social media is ignored: lack of knowledge and lack of time. Now, I can tell you from myself, this is one of the reasons why I go to someone like Andre, because he has the knowledge in the field for sure. Um, but lack of time is another one, because I know with my shop, when I was busy doing so many other things, the last thing I had time for was looking into something like this. So that's actually one of the things that you do see.
Oh
You see,
yeah, and a lot of people think it's a lot more complicated than it actually is, and they think it's like, oh my gosh, I have to take, 5, 10 minutes to take a picture and then edit it and think of a caption and all these things, and they scare themselves away before they even, give it a shot.
yeah. Well, and it's also you start reading some information about it, and then of course the information that you read, is it correct? Because the internet has tons of
Oh,
information, and we all go there
oh
for
yeah,
it. All right.
exactly.
So let's just talk about some of the different social media sites here. Facebook is when you think of social media, I believe that's what most people think of as Facebook, because that's where it started. You know.
Oh yes.
But we have Yelp, we have Google Plus. It's also known as Google My Business, Twitter. There are others as well. So what I want to do is I want to just start with a polling question here, because I want to know which social media sites do you have set up for your business. So I'm gonna start this poll here. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna launch this poll, and what I want you to do is I want you to just answer the question: which ones you have set up, which ones you know. Um, and just to get an idea of where you're at here as far as your knowledge in this area, and
Yeah, and it kind
how
of
you're
gives
doing.
us a feedback of how they're doing and how you guys are doing as business shops and what you guys want to learn on and I've had a lot of people that don't even know the importance of Yelp lately, and the big roles that they're trying to play in the internet world. So, we just want to see what you guys have knowledge wise for your own businesses.
Yeah, and it's good. Plus, you guys are just not listening to us. You get some feedback from you to see what's going on here. Now, let's see. I'm going to give you about another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We're going to close the poll here. I'm going to share it with you. All right. So 55% of you are set up with Yelp, 64% Google plus Google My Business, 73% on Facebook. It's interesting. Facebook is larger. Wow.
Oh
18,
yeah, of course.
18% is Twitter, and 18% of you are not sure. All right. So that gives us a feedback. It gives you an idea, too. Actually, I didn't expect Facebook to be so high, just from my own feelings about Facebook.
Oh yeah, no, a
That's
lot of people realize the power of Facebook and the way that they're really trying to make a play at being the number one media platform, in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we're just going to go through some stats here with Facebook. Facebook has 214 million users in the U.S., and the average adult spends 55 plus minutes per day on Facebook. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I first heard that, I was like, you're nuts. There is no way I spend that much time on Facebook. And then
Oh yeah.
I started keeping track of it. And I'd be at the airport, I'd be on my phone, I'd watch this, I'd watch that. So
Yep.
it was scary, actually.
They say the average person at least is on Facebook 7 times a day at
Seven.
the least.
Wow. Wow. All right. So, best use of Facebook is to stay in contact with your current customers for sure. It can act as a way to engage your customers and remind them you are there for them. Especially, I like to say that with collision shops, because you cannot schedule somebody's next accident. So,
Yep.
just keeping your face in front of them reminds them, if they run into somebody, and makes it a good way for somebody to refer you. And the more you work
Yep.
for it, the more it works for you. There are other ways of using Facebook as well, but to start with, this is definitely something that you want to do. Um, you
Oh
know,
yes. And it can be as simple as, guys, when you guys wake up in the morning, you guys go over to the shop, you're drinking your coffee. I always tell people, get a sticky note and put it on your computer and write on there, take a picture. And I kid you not, every single day just reminds you. So when you open up those garage doors, you see that picture right here on the screen. This guy had a Kinoseg. Now, not everybody has a Kinoseg at their shop, of course. But, you know, if you have that Toyota Camry and it's getting its brakes and rotors replaced, if you take a picture of that and you say this Camry, Toyota Camry, in for brake and rotor replacement, now that person, because of me, I'm thinking of brake and rotors because my Mustang outside needs brakes and rotors. So it's a gentle reminder to somebody every single day, like, hey, don't forget to get this done. Come check us out. We do this. And that post takes you 2 to 3 minutes in your morning.
Yes, and it doesn't necessarily have to be automotive related as well. Isn't that
Oh,
correct?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. It could be anything. I have guys that, you know, shop owners that broadcast their whole lives and people love it. You know, they go home and broadcast their kids on it and they get more feedback sometimes than the actual cars.
Wow. Wow. You see, and that's the thing too. You can actually see which ones are. You can see the types of posts people like because they respond to them and they like them.
Yep.
That's a good point. Okay, so that's Facebook. Now we're going to talk about Yelp, and here's one of the things: some love it, some hate it. But there's some facts I want to go over about Yelp first, and then we're going to expand on that. So Yelp has 84 million desktop visitors. They have 104 million mobile visitors. 80% of Yelp users visit Yelp because they intend to make a purchase. See, that's an interesting thing. Yelp users are very loyal, and 98% of
Yes.
Yelp users have made a purchase at a business they found on Yelp. So,
Yep.
uh,
If you are on Yelp, you're basically looking for business. So that is why Yelp has created is they want to give the face of the business for those online visitors to find them.
right. Exactly. And then I do know because Andre, and this is an interesting thing that I find. I go into other parts of the country, the middle of the country, like I'll give you an example. I was just in South Dakota recently, smaller
Oh
area and
man.
so on. And I pulled up Yelp, and it was very interesting that I didn't necessarily see much from Yelp in those areas. Um,
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's still growing in the more rural areas, you know, the smaller towns and stuff like that. But you'll be surprised. I find some really small towns, and I had one guy that had over 150 reviews. And I'm like, how did you
wow.
get that? And he's like, oh, every single one of my neighbors left me a review. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And he's like, because I know Yelp is gonna grow. I know it's, you know, it's gonna lead. You know, not a lot of people know. And I was just telling Jim about this the other day that any iPhone, if any of you guys are iPhone users, that the recommended search engine on the Apple Maps and for Siri is Yelp. So anybody, if you right now pull up your phone and you say, give me Mexican food in my area right now, you're going to get all Yelp reviews. So just think about that. If you're on the side of the road and you need, you know, to get your auto repair or whatever, if you put an auto repair shop in your phone, you're getting all Yelp, no matter where you are.
Right. And here's a crazy thing too. So it's so my wife, who's a diehard Apple user, anything she searches for comes up on from Yelp. But there's
Yep.
27.9 million small businesses in the U.S. Yelp has about 12 million small business listings, but only 2.1 million of those small businesses have actually claimed their Yelp page. I mean, they've
Oh
actually
wow.
went in there. Yeah, and it's interesting too because Yelp has they had to create something to start to have this database, so they put businesses in
Exactly.
there. So there's information that's
Hmm.
not even correct. There was one
Oh
that I
yeah, I get shops all the time that's like, that's not my address, or that's, you know, there. I had one guy that was a collision shop and he was listed in auto glass shop. He was
wow.
like, how? You know, so you guys got to make sure you guys get on there and make sure your information is correct because I've had customers complain to shops saying, you had me drive to the wrong area because you didn't check your address.
Yeah, I also saw one that it was listed that the shop was open 24 hours. So,
All right. Yeah,
yes,
that one can be a bad one if you show up at 12 o'clock at night and there's nobody there.
exactly. Yeah, I have a flat tire, so I went to get it fixed, tow it to this place, and they're closed. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we were talking a little bit about this, Andre, that what is Yelp doing with their categories? You had said something about their categories.
So yeah, so now Yelp is actually letting you verify the actual services that you offer. So, you know, for some people who don't have websites up, or they're not fully up to date with their website, haven't updated their information. Yelp has found a way around that, so people don't even have to click onto your website anymore. They want you to verify the services that you actually offer right there on the Yelp page. So it's a one-stop shop for all your information.
Cool. So that would be like what type of when you say more categories or to verify your categories, what do you mean by that?
So say just if you're an auto repair shop, now they're going to give you specific categories: AC repair, heater, oil pump, starters, anything like that. They're going to give you a bunch of different options that you can actually check the boxes, and it's going to show you a list of them. You check the box and you verify if you get offered that service or not. And so that's why it's really easy now for businesses to be able to just have a one-stop shop, no website, and they know Yelp is giving all the information.
Yeah, that's very cool. So it's actually expanding on what you've had before, so it's definitely more detail.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, much more detail.
yeah, and of course then it's more effective for you as well. So okay, good.
Yeah.
So let's move on. We're going to talk about Google Plus here, or Google My Business. Well, Google Plus has 300 million users worldwide. Google Plus has 20 million mobile users in the U.S., and they have 19 million desktop users in the U.S. Now, Google Plus came about because they actually wanted to buy Yelp at one point for some crazy
Oh yeah.
number, like a $500 million or something, and Yelp turned them down. Um,
Yep. Yeah.
so
Yelp
Google
knew
just
what they were creating.
Yeah. So Google decided to kind of make their own Yelp type thing, and they created Google Plus, and now they have Google My Business. So it's an ever evolving thing. But Google Plus is kind of like a if Yelp and Facebook got together and had a kid, that's who you'd have, right?
Basically. Exactly. They
Yeah.
try to make a one-stop shop. Um, Google Plus has become, very in the shadow of Yelp. But the reason why Google plays such an importance is because for all those Android users and for any person using Google Maps or the Waze map or anything like that, they all come from the Google map. So any Google listing, your My Google business page is all listed straight onto that. And as much as people use their iPhones and use Apple Maps, what's the first thing people always say if you don't know something? Google it. So right off the bat, you want to make sure that if somebody Googles auto repair, auto collision, body shop, anything like that, you are found on those pages.
Exactly. And the thing too is, you can post onto news feeds, you can post videos, gather followers, you can link to your YouTube channel because YouTube is also a Google product, allows you to have videos and such too. Um,
Exactly.
so of course, getting your page claimed and properly set up and maintained is definitely the solution to making it more effective. Now, of course, I use an Android phone. I just never got into Apple for one reason or another. But one of the things that I do use is I have Gmail and I have my calendar, and that's a major reason why I have Android because my life is on my phone, and
Oh yeah.
it's otherwise I wouldn't know where I'm going. And I do know that I got to catch a plane 10 o'clock tomorrow, as a matter of fact. But that's the
Whew.
way that's the way I do. Well, it's 10 in the morning. It's not as bad as a flight when I went to South Dakota. I left at 6 in the morning, so it wasn't as bad. So, all right, but again, it's important. The other thing too is, like you said, Andre. Google is actually a verb now because it's like if you're looking, you're actually Googling something. But it is
Exactly.
8 out of 10 searches are done on Google on the
Oh
internet.
yeah.
So they are big
And
dogs.
Google actually takes into account too. A lot of people don't realize they take into account all your competitor, or not competitor, but related ratings. So Google will read your Facebook rating. So if you have 5 stars on Facebook, it will actually tell that on Google, on your Google listing. And if you have a 5-star yellow page rating, it'll actually tell people that also. They want to put all your ratings in one area. So it's very important that you guys also have this corrected and confirmed.
Wow. Um, that's very interesting. Now the something else I was going to say about it, but we're going to move on here. All right, because as I get a little older, I think of a thought, and then all of a sudden it disappears. All right, so let's go.
Oh no.
That's okay. Let's go on, and we're going to talk about social media because it is the new word of mouth. I mean, how are people find? It used to be in my day when I had my shop, the big thing was word of mouth. It was the best customers that you ever had coming into your shop because they would actually. Joe sent me and told me to come down, and this is what I got going on with my car, and I just want you to take care of it. They're very easy customers to deal with, aren't they?
Oh
So
yes.
yeah, so they're awesome customers to have. But we want to go over because the new word of mouth with social media is reviews. Reviews are huge because that's where people are going and looking. So I have a couple polling questions on this. I want to get some feedback from you to get an idea where you're at with these things. And the first one that I'm going to do is how often do you actually check up on your reviews? Do you look at them? Do you check the review sites? Do you look at the new reviews? See what people are leaving? So that's what I want to know here. All right.
Oh yeah, that's very important because sometimes you get people that, they might be a little upset and you can actually ease the pain and ease that fire by just a simple response. Sometimes it's a misunderstanding and, sometimes when people aren't heard and you take a long time to respond to them, they actually get more mad.
Exactly right. And that's the giving them a call to find out. I mean, that's the simplest thing that you could actually do. All right, so I'm going to give you another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Has everybody voted here? We're going to. Okay, I'm going to close this baby down. I'm going to share it with you. All right, so 27% of you are occasionally.
Nice.
Well, at least it's not never. I do appreciate that.
Yes.
33% once a
Yes.
week and 40% is daily. Now that's awesome because for you guys that are doing it daily, even the guys once a week, you understand the importance of your reviews. Because hey, just think about it yourself. If you're a customer and you are not, something happened, something didn't work out quite right.
You want to be heard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had you want it taken care of quickly. You know,
exactly.
that actually can turn things around. All right, so I'm going to hide this, and then I have another poll for you, um, and that is this one here, and it is how many reviews do you have? Now I know that's kind of hard necessarily because you might have some on different sites or whatever, but if you just kind of combine them together, if you can think of how many reviews you might have, I want to get an idea of the amount of reviews that you're getting actually left. Um, I know some will be more than others. Some places are more than the others.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's for sure.
Yes. It was funny. I had one guy. He had one review and had gave him a 1 star in Yelp, and this guy was petrified. He was so sad. He was like, "I'm never gonna be able to come back from this." And I read the review, and it was a person that was really mad because the battery that they just had bought was dead already. And so she was mad and blamed the shop. And he said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you actually, whoever you bought this battery from gave you a dead battery." And she's like, "Oh, I bought it from Walmart." And so he was like, "Well, we installed it, but that's not our fault that the battery was already dead." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." Went on there and changed put that 1 star review to a 5 star. And like that's just how
Ah,
important it is.
that's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to close this poll, and we're going to share this one with you. Well, 20% of you have 1 to 10, 20% 11 to 25, and 47%
50
of you
plus, awesome.
50 plus, which is awesome. And 7% of you are not sure. One of the things you want to do is you want to take a look to see the amount of reviews. This is something you need to be proactive with, not reactive. And staying on top of reviews, knowing what's going on with them. It's just as important as knowing what's going on in your shop because this is a way that you can actually control and improve the view of your shop outside of your business by looking at these things. All right, so we're going to move on here. And one thing that you probably heard is don't solicit for reviews because if you actually solicit for reviews and pay people for reviews, Andre, what do the review sites actually do if you do that?
Oh, they just take them right down, and they can even close your listing. They can ban you from their actual pages. So there's a lot of different things that they do. I've had companies email out and give out coupon codes for reviews, and that company actually got banned from Amazon and from Yelp.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, and that's like you said, how do you come back from that? And that's you don't. That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So one of the key things, I mean, this sounds very simple, but delivering great customer service is the way to stay on top of this and to get good reviews. Because if you're doing the right thing, people will want to tell others. Now,
Exactly.
now the other thing too, though, is I know sometimes for some of you it's tough to actually get somebody to leave a review. You know, even though you do a really good job and you ask people, and you inform them that you have social media and you value their opinion and you want to leave reviews, sometimes that's tough. So, Andre, what are some of the suggestions you have as far as getting customers to leave reviews?
So sometimes it really just takes as simple as asking. A lot of people don't know if you're on Yelp or if you're on Google Plus. So what you could do is a simple just I have people that make signs and put it on their wall and just say leave us a Yelp review. That's always one option.
Mhm.
One also that I also suggest is candy bars. Leaving a treat, a sweet treat, right? A sweet treat for something nice. You just say, take a candy bar. If you guys can leave us a Yelp review, those are awesome ways to get people, happy. Everybody, well, most people love candy, a little sucker or a Kit Kat bar or whatever it is, something like that is definitely, a pretty good fair trade. I would always leave somebody a review if they gave me a candy bar, or, I go to boba places and I get a free boba. So it's just like, you just sometimes just ask or give them a little nudge and just say, hey, don't forget, Google is very, very lenient on who leaves you reviews. Anybody can leave you guys reviews. Yelp is a little bit more picky. They want that person to have a legit Yelp profile with actually, pictures on their profile and actually having friends and left reviews beforehand. They're pretty picky, so just kind of ask like, hey, do you guys have Yelp? And if they say yes, ask them to leave a Yelp. And if they say no, it's okay, because you still have Facebook, you still have Google Plus, and everybody has Facebook, and just about everybody has Facebook. So at least you can get those reviews off the top, and that's also a great path to have some good reviews.
Good, and that's a very good thing. You know, of course, you're doing this. You've done a really good job for the customer. They're satisfied when they're leaving. It's the perfect time to ask for the review. Of course, I know this sounds silly, but if the customer has a bad experience, yeah, I wouldn't be asking them to leave a review. Let's take care of that problem first. I know that sounds simple, but sometimes I've seen that. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
experienced that myself. You know. If anybody's ever gone and bought a car, it's one of those experiences. It's like, please, when you fill out the survey, make sure you give us all perfect reviews. But it's funny. I
Oh
had a
yeah.
I had a horrible experience with you, but please help us out.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of crazy. So let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about negative reviews because I know this gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of concern with people. They don't know how to respond to them, or it's like, oh my goodness, I got a negative review. What do I do? All right. Well, first
Oh
thing,
yes.
don't stress about negative reviews. All right. One of the things that I like to say is, okay, you got a negative review, fine. There are things you can do to handle them, but of course, continue to solicit for more reviews. That helps you. All right. One of the things one of the things you don't want to do though, just don't respond publicly to a negative review as your first course of action. There's a
Yes.
Yeah.
Calm down first.
Exactly right.
Breathe.
The other thing too is sometimes, like the example you just gave about the shop that installed a battery that a customer brought in from Walmart, and the battery was the problem, and she left a
Yep.
bad review. And of course, as a shop owner, you take offense to that because it's like, what the heck, man? Here I am trying to help this woman out. I put a
Oh
battery in for
yes.
her, and then She leaves me a bad review. So, of course, your response is you're going to want to respond to it. And you're going to want to say, hey, listen, knucklehead.
Yeah, yeah. But you gotta, first things first, I always tell people is see if you can dispute it. Yelp puts every single review through I think it's like a pretty good amount of checkpoints that it has to go through, checking if it's a competitor, if the person has a legit profile, all different type of options, and sometimes they'll just remove them.
Mm-hmm.
And then right off the bat, you don't even have to worry about it. Now, if they don't remove that, then yes, take a few breaths, maybe walk outside, get some fresh air before you respond. And really, just think about what's the best way to approach this. Even ask another person that, is calm and is not involved in the situation on just how to respond. And sometimes the utmost professional responses can get you out of those bad reviews. The guy simply asked the lady and said, hey, I'm sorry that the battery was not working properly. Could it have been the battery? Where did you buy it from? And so she brought it back in. She brought the receipt from Walmart. He tested the battery again, and it was completely dead. There wasn't even any, I think, of the acid inside of the battery.
Oh, my
It was
goodness.
like basically completely empty. Yeah.
Wow.
And so basically, she was like, oh my gosh, she took it to Walmart and they completely gave her a brand new battery, and they installed it and it was working perfect. So it was just a dead battery.
Right. The other thing too is on the social media sites they have terms and conditions, and if it violates the terms and conditions of the website, you can actually flag the review, which
Exactly.
is another way to handle it. Um, you can attempt to resolve the situation directly with the customer in private. This is where you call the customer. There was another shop that I know, and he's up in Pacific Northwest, and he had a situation where there was a confusion at the front counter. The service advisor didn't want to do what the customer wanted because it made no sense. It would have been a waste of the customer's money. But the customer didn't understand that and thought that the service advisor just didn't want to help him. So the customer left mad and he left a bad review. Now, what happened after that was the shop owner immediately called the customer. Now, for you guys that are checking your stuff daily, you can be on top of this right away. And he called the customer right away and asked what happened, and then explained the situation to the customer and why they didn't want to do what the customer wanted done because it was a waste of money, and explained it to him why. When they were both cool about it, actually the shop owner wasn't involved in the situation, but he just gathered all the information, talked to the customer, and he resolved the whole thing, and the customer thanked him when they were done. Now that customer actually went back like the Walmart woman here with the battery and changed the review and went changed the negative to a positive. So let's try to do that as well. Okay. Now, if all else fails, this is when you respond publicly. Apologize for the misunderstanding. The world the world is watching, so never argue with the customer. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yes. Please don't do that. Always respond with a level head. And if it comes down to responding, just say, I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. And if there's anything that we can do to help you in this situation, feel free to contact us. Very simple, clean, no arguments, no fights.
Yes, and I saw an example of this where it was a restaurant that had a bad review left by a customer because they didn't do takeout, and she was all upset how she was inconvenienced. And of course, when you look at these reviews, they're really long and drawn out and winded, and don't make some of them don't make sense. You can almost see that the person's a crazy person, to be honest with you. But the thing of it is, once you respond publicly, though, then the review will stick, won't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
because
It will be permanent at that point. So be smart about what you say. It's just like when they say when you're choosing a tattoo, you got to think about it before you do it.
so don't be out late with your friends in Vegas and about 4 o'clock in the morning. Just go decide. Ooh, it's time to get a tattoo. All right. Um, yeah, you gotta be smart about it. But if you do this and you take care of your customers, actually handling the reviews isn't a problem. And truthfully, I know for myself. And Andre, I want to get your opinion on this too. If I see a business that has all 5-star reviews, I'm a bit skeptical. There aren't knuckleheaded people out there. I'll see bad reviews. And I look at reviews on hotels all the time because I book hotels all over the country, and
Oh yes.
I look at those reviews, and you have some people that are like, there was too much noise from the highway. Hello, you're at a hotel right next to the highway, so they gave them a 1-star review, and then it went on
Oh
to,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, crazy. There was somebody not at the desk
Oh
for
yeah.
5 minutes. I had to wait. It's like, okay,
Oh
fine.
yeah, people have their own opinions all the time, and that's what people, you guys have to understand with these people reviews is there's people that's impatient, there's people that's having bad days and going through hard times, and we all go through hard times sometimes. And just think about it, if you're having a bad day and then your car breaks down and then you're already frustrated, sometimes you make rash decisions and you say things that you don't mean. So don't immediately just respond with a heavy head. Kind of just consider that person and how you would feel in that situation and how you would want somebody to respond to you.
Yes, exactly. So that's everything that I wanted to go over this evening for you. But I do want to say this. Management Success has been a company that's been around over 25 years. It started in 1993 with its sole purpose to help shop owners improve the quality of their life and to get better control of their business. So one of the things that we do is we have what's known as a shop business analysis, and this is where we'll do a complete checkup of your shop, your collision shop, general repair shop. It goes over your website, social media, your finances, marketing, your sales, your production. It goes over your whole shop, and this is a very in-depth analysis. It actually was created from clients of ours that suggested that we do this by an advisory board that we actually created so that we can help improve the industry. So it's something that we do to that you can actually get help and find out what's going on with your business. Andre is actually on these as well, and you give them a analysis of their internet presence, don't you?
Yes, break it down one step by step for you guys, and so that way you guys can know exactly what you're doing and what you need to improve, and actually how to get those customers in the door specifically for your shop.
Yeah, and to improve the things that we just talked about. Now, um, that's just part of it, and then we also get into the business and the sales, into production, into you as the owner, and all of that. It's very in depth. It's a few hours long. We have a whole team that actually specializes in this to help you see what's going on with your business and to give you pointers and direction on what to do to fix it. Now, this service is usually $495, but we have a holiday special. It's $250. I For $250 to get all that information is extremely worth it, because if you were to just get one new customer in off of your analysis, it would pay for itself. That's just one customer,
Exactly.
not to mention all the
Oh
ones
yes.
after that. So that's something I definitely recommend that you check out. You can do that by giving us a call. And for more information about management success, call us at 818-500-9631. Our website, www.managementsuccess.com. And I also want to say to you guys, you folks work real hard. You wear your hearts on your sleeves. You care about what you do, and you all deserve to do well. So I wish you all the best. I want to also thank you all for attending. I want you guys to stay on, and as I end this webinar, there's a survey that's going to pop up. Fill out the survey, and you'll receive your $5 Starbucks gift card, and that will be sent to you electronically. Someone in the office will follow up with that tomorrow, because they'll actually see the surveys that come in and be able to do that for you. So if you could all fill out that survey for me, get your $5 Starbucks gift card. If you're not the one that likes to drink coffee, give it to somebody who is, because 'tis the season, right? There'll be somebody who wants that Starbucks card, because there's a Starbucks in every
Oh yeah.
corner that you know. So I want to thank you all for attending. I hope we've helped you out. Andre, I appreciate your help this evening. Thank you very much.
Of course. Happy
And
holidays,
yes,
everybody.
happy holidays to everyone. Enjoy and have an awesome new year. All right, take care, folks. Just wait just a minute as the survey pops up so you can fill it out for your Starbucks card. All right, have a good one. Take care.